In today's video, we have two topics of news to cover. First of all, the Mark Stone contract extension with the Vegas Golden Knights is finally official, so we're going to go into the details of the contract to give you my thoughts. Secondly, we're also going to take a look at the Colorado Avalanche injury situation. Captain Gabriel Landeskog is now being reported as out for 4 to 6 weeks. This could have a major implication on their playoff hopes. We'll get into all of that coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams, so if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned off the top, the contract extension between Mark Stone and the Vegas Golden Knights has been finally made official. Apparently GM George McPhee has been away, so they finally put pen to paper now that he's returned, and that contract has made official. It's an 8-year contract extension at $9.5 million. There is some signing bonuses included, as well as a full no move / no trade clause for the entire duration of the contract. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Mark Stone. I think he's worth every penny, but some of these teams handing out full no move clauses for an entire duration of a contract like that certainly does have some risk involved. A lot of things can happen over a 7-8 year period, whether it be the player's performance, injuries, things can change with the team. It's certainly a little bit risky in that sense. But, however, at the same time, Mark Stone is a terrific hockey player. He makes everybody around him better. I know he's still kind of easing in to his time here with the Golden Knights, trying to find his first goal. He's got a couple of assists so far, and I believe it's been 5 games that he's played. And he certainly is making his teammates around him better. Like I said, he has an effect on people. I do think he's worth every penny. Obviously, he's making a fair bit more than her other big acquisition, which came at the beginning of the year, Max Pacioretty. But I do think Stone brings more to the table than Pacioretty. Pacioretty is a proven goal scorer. Mark Stone's a proven all-around player. Someday I'd like to see him be rewarded with the Selke Trophy. I think he's a terrific two-way hockey player that oftentimes gets overshadowed and a little bit underrated, in my opinion, on that side of the game. But good signing for the Vegas Golden Knights. They got themselves a good player. They had to give up some good value. I know Eric Brandstrom has got a big piece that the Senators were happy to receive in that package going back to Ottawa, and he very well could prove to be a big part of their rebuild and on their blue line. But we'll see about that. But for right now, Stone's having an immediate impact on Vegas, and we'll see what he can do in the playoffs. Now, speaking of the playoffs and trying to get in, the Colorado Avalanche are in a bit of a dogfight trying to get into that wild card spot in the Western Conference playoff race. I know obviously one of my most recent videos was my playoff predictions for which teams were going to get in, since we have some very interesting playoff races heating up both in the Eastern and Western conferences. I did predict that the Avalanche were going to score their way into the playoffs here, and I don't have a lot of hope they're going to get very far. Like, more than likely would be a first-round loss to many teams, depending on who they match up against, barring some kind of playoff miracle. But at the same time, I do think they're capable of at least getting into that spot. But having Gabriel Landeskog out 4 to 6 weeks is going to be a major blow. It very well could prove to be out for the remainder of the regular season, and he may not even be able to play again until the playoffs start, assuming they were able to get in. So without Landeskog, it's going to be that much harder. But thankfully, Nate McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen have been playing well lately, kind of getting their point production back up to par here. But that trio, along with Landeskog, has been arguably one of the top lines in hockey all season long, putting up terrific offensive numbers, and not having him there is going to be a major blow. So let me know, what do you think? Do you think this injury to Landeskog is going to have a major impact on the ability of the Avalanche to squeeze into the playoffs here? And when both races on the Eastern and Western side are certainly looking rather interesting. On the Western Conference side, you've got the Dallas Stars and Minnesota Wild, the Avalanche along with the Coyotes kind of fighting it out for those spots. On the Eastern Conference side, you got teams like the Montreal Canadiens, the Pittsburgh Penguins, along with the Columbus Blue Jackets kind of fighting it out there. Obviously, Columbus made a ton of acquisitions. I've talked a lot about this on Twitter recently, a little bit in some of the videos. The Columbus Blue Jackets right now are certainly at risk to be, in a position where they might have given up a lot to not make the playoffs and could be in a really odd predicament here heading into the offseason. If they don't make the playoffs, that first-round pick they gave to Ottawa is going to be in the upper half of the first round, so that's going to prove to be a valuable pick for them that they're not going to have. They traded many of their other draft picks. I hardly have any picks at all for the 2019 NHL Draft. Not to mention they have a lot of pending unrestricted free agents. Everybody they acquired was a pending UFA. Plus, they already have Panarin and Bobrovsky, that they're at risk of losing as well. They could have a lot of these guys potentially walk, and not have any picks to show for it as well, not make the playoffs as well. This seems like a very really risky move. It's kind of nice in a way to see them going for it, but at the same time the risk might be too much here and this might not pay off. So far in the games they've played since the NHL trade deadline, things are not trending well. Even for example last night when they got shut out by the Penguins, they opted to play Korpisalo instead of Bobrovsky, which I found a little bit puzzling. If you're only going to have Bobrovsky for a limited amount of time left, he's your team's best goaltender, he's making big money, I'd have him in there as much as possible. I realize his record against the Penguins overall hasn't been great, but still, this seemed like an odd coaching decision in my opinion. Matt Duchene, again, like he did in Ottawa, is having a hard time kind of fitting in, at least from a production standpoint, kind of easing into his game. His first game was pretty solid. He got a couple of points, looked pretty good, but he's been quiet ever since. Dezingel's playing a much lower role in the lineup than he's used to as well. Adam McQuaid's barely played. Keith Kincaid's only been a backup or a scratch. So they've they spent a lot of draft picks and a lot of prospects bringing all these guys in, and right now things are just not looking good in my opinion. So as always, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Do you think the Landeskog injury is going to prevent the Avalanche from getting in? And maybe leave a comment as well. Let me know how you think things are looking on the Eastern Conference playoff race. Which of those teams end up making the playoffs? If you're new to the channel here, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up before you go. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time.